Hosting a live charity event, I got a call. Family emergency. Come now or you're dead to us. I came back to find all our accounts frozen. I was hosting our annual charity gala when my phone buzzed. The event was going perfectly. We'd already raised $50,000 for the children's hospital, and I was about to announce the final auction item when I saw my mother's name on the screen. Family emergency. If you don't come, you don't exist to us anymore. My blood went cold. In 15 years of marriage, my family had never once attended anything I organized. They called my charity work playing house with other people's money. But an ultimatum like this, something was seriously wrong. I handed the microphone to my co-host and rushed out, texting my husband Mark that I had to leave. The drive to my parents' house felt endless. I kept imagining the worst. Someone was dying. There'd been an accident. Maybe my brother had relapsed again. When I pulled into their driveway, I saw cars everywhere. My aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole extended family was there. My heart was pounding as I ran to the front door. But when I walked in, everyone was laughing. There was music playing, food on the table, and my brother was very much alive, holding a beer and grinning at me. "What's the emergency?" I asked, confused and still catching my breath. My mother looked at me with this satisfied smile. "We're celebrating." "Celebrating what?" That's when my father stepped forward, holding a stack of papers. "Your husband finally came to his senses." I stared at the documents in his hands, trying to process what I was seeing. Divorce papers, with Mark's signature already on them. "What is this?" My voice came out as a whisper. "Mark realized he married the wrong person," my mother said, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. "Someone who cares more about strangers than her own family." My phone started buzzing with notifications. I looked down to see text after text from my bank. Every joint account we had was frozen. Our mortgage payment had bounced. Even my personal credit cards were being declined. "How is this possible?" I asked, but I already knew the answer. Mark had been planning this. Every time I'd left for a charity event, every late night I'd spent organizing fundraisers. Every weekend I dedicated to volunteer work. He'd been documenting it all, building a case that I was an absent wife. My brother laughed. He showed us the divorce papers weeks ago, said he was tired of being married to a woman who was never home. "But I was building something meaningful," I said, feeling desperate. "We've helped hundreds of families." "With whose money?" my father interrupted. "Mark told us how much you've been spending on these little projects of yours." My cousin Sarah chimed in. "He said you've been draining your accounts for years on this charity nonsense." That's when it hit me. Mark had access to all our accounts. He could see every donation I made, every event I funded, but what he couldn't see, what none of them knew, was where that money actually came from. I started laughing. Not a happy laugh, but the kind of laugh that comes when you realize how badly someone has played themselves. "What's so funny?" my mother demanded. I pulled out my phone and opened my personal banking app, the one account Mark never had access to, the one I'd kept private for exactly this reason. "Mark froze our joint accounts," I said, still smiling. "The accounts where we kept his $60,000 teacher salary, the accounts we used for groceries and the mortgage." Their faces started to change as they sensed something was off. "But Mark never asked about this account," I continued, turning my phone screen toward them. "The one with 2.3 million in it, the one that's been funding our charity work for the past 5 years." The room went dead silent. "You see, when my grandfather died, he left everything to me. Not to Mark, not to any of you, just me. I never told Mark because I wanted to make sure he loved me for who I was, not what I had." My mother's face was pale now. That's not possible. "Mark just divorced a multi-millionaire to be with his 23-year-old teaching assistant," I said, watching their expressions crumble. "And he froze the accounts that contain his money, not mine." I headed toward the door, then turned back one last time. "Oh, and that house you're all celebrating in? The one Dad could never afford on his mechanic's salary? I've been paying the mortgage for 10 years. Guess who's about to own it outright after the divorce?" The celebration had turned into a funeral, and Mark had just buried himself.